Yeah, anytime you're ready, you can throw your question down there. Thank you for making another purchase as well. Thank you to anybody who does anything to support my channel, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, super thanks, super chat, purchasing services, including the ones that are listed below, and all my contact information is down there. Thank you guys so much for all of that. Everything that you do to help support me on my journey and my path and things like that, it really does help me to be able to do a much better job being here to support you on your path and your journey. And everything you give out comes back to you multiplied, always does. The more we share, the more we're gonna get. So remember that the more you share, the more you're gonna get. I love that movie. The more we share, the more we're gonna get. What's funny about that is I know there's some extra good blessings coming my way at this current moment, because the other day I got an extra donation during my day off, and it was like, woohoo, thank you. And I ended up spending that on diapers and wipes for a baby I know. She's about 4 actually, but she's somewhat handicapped. And so, yeah. Anyway, that's a lot more important than a lot of other things I could think of to spend my money on at that point in time. Was that it was so hard when the girls were young to be able to afford all the stuff that we needed at times. And so it really is great when you have somebody that can help out when something falls through. Remember to help those people in your life that are going through those hard times, and everything that you do really does come back to you. Whether it comes back to you from that person or not, it comes back to you. So, yeah, it comes back to you. Look at it. It's raining money. It's raining money. Hallelujah, it's raining money. And it's raining men too. It's raining a lot of options for you just in general. With love. Everything that you do, do it with love. Sing with love. Sing with passion. Sing with joy. Enjoy your life. Remove those layers that have been concealing you for so long. Unexpected betrayal always cuts deep. Some of you could have left a situation as well where somebody feels like you betrayed them, and it was so unexpected and out of nowhere that it has cut this person extremely deeply. And this person may actually be getting ready to play some new games here. They are definitely on a chessboard working out some calculations to try to be able to do something. So you may want to pay attention to who's around you from the past too, especially if you have somebody that was like the love so amazing and so perfect, and then it just turned out to be hell. Quite literally hell, especially if there was financial abuse involved. Hi, Leia. You can throw your question down there anytime, sweetheart. Breaking out of that shell. So yeah, once again, removing all those layers you've concealed yourself in, all those layers that you felt like you've had to put on for everyone else, anything that makes you feel ugh, or drab, or down, or just, it's time to get rid of those things. It's time to move away from those things. It's time to really open up and express yourself at your most authentic level. And it may be time to visit nature as well, and to get kind of like a nature type of release. Once again, this actually goes with that person I was talking about. In Sagittarius, it was that person. So, piano player. Ooh, the Phantom of the Opera is coming to mind too. The Phantom of the Opera is here inside my mind. You can feel extremely telepathically connected to somebody in particular as well. What's really weird, the night that I met that guy, there was actually a lot of shit that went on that night. So much crazy messages coming in. So many. And what's funny is, regardless of that, I do like to follow my curiosity, honestly. I love following my curiosity. If curiosity killed the cat, it probably killed me 100 years before that, and I'm still here. I don't know. Curiosity is not a bad thing. And honestly, yeah, sometimes it could lead to some bad things. But the whole thing is, what's the point of life if you're not living? If you're curious about something, you want to find out about something, you want to know about something, fucking go look and know. How do you think I know so much about psychology? Because I was curious. Haha. Just saying. Open your eyes and see the lies. So there was somebody who really lied a lot. They may have kissed ass a lot. What's really funny is I had a dream about that person like a month later. And we were at the place I was staying at that point. He was in there with them. I don't know, there was some weird shit going on. Anyway, he said something to me, though, about, boy, you really don't know how to kiss ass, do you? No, I don't. I don't. I'm not going to drop to my I'm not going to drop to my knees and kiss somebody's fucking ass. Ain't going to happen. I'm going to be me. And if they can't handle that, appreciate that, or value that, they can kiss my ass because I'm out of there. Blessings come from earth angels. So, the earth angels that are here watching this channel, helping people, loving people, bringing people comfort and joy in their times of need, grabbing something for them at the store when they need it because, you know, that's the right thing to do, and you feel like if you were in that same position, you would like something like that to happen for you. When you feel that call and you feel that pull, you do it, which makes you that earth angel. And what's great is we are not the only earth angels on this planet. There's plenty of them. So when we have those moments and we reach out and we ask for that help and we're like, hey, I need this, please bring it to me in some way, they listen and they call other earth angels like you, but those people have a choice just like we do on whether or not they're going to follow that call, on whether or not they're going to listen to that idea they had. You might just all of a sudden get the idea to throw a $20 bill to somebody that's on the side of the road. And you're thinking, oh wait, I have all this to do. Should I even be doing that? That's the test right there. Are you going to step in and help somebody when they need it, or are you going to look the other way? When you're feeling that call and that pull, are you going to do it, or are you going to look the other way? So your ancestors also want you to be paying attention to the messages, the signs and the synchronicities that are coming into you as well. And they also don't want you to let go of this beautiful energy you have of placing people on the honor system and giving them a chance to show you who they are instead of judging the book by its cover. Allowing people to show you who they are. And that's also goes right along hand in hand with being able to let go and allowing things to play out as they are, and really not focusing too much on what they will be or where they came from, but what they are in the current moment, and paying attention to people's actions and people's words. So, Leia, what you need to know about this person or relationship. I'm loving the butterflies today, Tori. What do you need to know about this person or this relationship? This comes out a lot for that same person, just saying. The devil wears a suit and tie is just coming out. Reconciling, coming back together, 66. Reciprocity, equality, equal give and take, fond memories, root work. So, you're having some really good... You're going to be having to do some work in order to have some really good memories about the past situation. To be able to see the good in it. Clothes coming off. It's okay if you hurt for them, but they need this. So whatever this person is going through at this time, they needed this situation. They needed this situation to break their bad habits, to break out of the pain or hurt from their past, to break out of certain situations. This person could have had some issues with their mother as well. They may even have gotten a demotion, or in some way their life could have kind of fallen down a peg. They may have judged you for where you were at in your life in some way. And right now you've got a lot of peace going on. And see, this is making that equal give and take. Because at the time that you were dealing with them, you may have had a lot of unease going on. And this person may have had a lot of peace. Yeah. No more calls, no more messages. This person just kind of left you with no closure, no understanding of what happened in this situation. Dreamtime lover. This person may be having a lot of dreams of you as well. They may kind of be plagued a bit by your memory in some way. This is what they need, though. Warm hugs. You were somebody very warm and loving and gentle in their life. They felt very safe and calm around you. Love is coming, and it may come from a very unpredictable or a very not expected place. Done, finished, over, no more. This situation from the past is done. It's over, no more. You're not dealing with it anymore. You're going to be feeling really good about yourself in the near future, and you're going to be making new friends, new connections, and there's going to be some blossoming into some better things as well. In this Page of Pentacles, what I love about this particular part in this series, this is when they were rounding up all the chosen ones, and they did a spell to see which ones were the chosen ones. And the little balls of light spread out, and they went into the chosen ones. It went through Buffy's sister to get to this girl. But everybody saw it hit Buffy's sister. They never saw it hit this girl, except for Dawn. She saw it hit this girl. And when this girl was standing here scared and afraid and unsure of whether or not she could fight in this situation, Dawn let her know. She sacrificed, and she said, hey, it's not me. I'm not the special one. You're the special one. You're the one that's meant to be here fighting these. And you can do it. It's all inside of you. So, you might actually be realizing that you are not the person that's meant for this person, but that doesn't mean that there isn't somebody who is. And you might actually be bowing out so that this person can be with the person that brings them the happiness and the joy. And I feel like a lot of that is also what's going to be bringing in your future happiness and joy. Somebody else is going to be watching you do this. And somebody else is going to be recognizing your value and your worth, regardless of whether or not you have a little or a lot. They're going to be noticing, oh, Mercury's shape of you. I'm going to buy my girl diamonds and pearls. And that don't mean she's materialistic. I know she fell in love with me because I'm a lyrical mystic. I don't know. Lyrical genius is what he says, I think. But there's definitely going to be, this is going to be something very emotionally mature and stable. This is going to be somebody who is capable of expressing their emotions as well, even if they look stupid. They don't care if they look stupid. They don't worry about it. They're not afraid of it. There's somebody who has a lot of hope, a lot of dreams as well, big dreams. And they believe that they can make them come true. And they're not just whimsical dreams. They're dreams that they're actually putting physical and tangible effort into creating. This person has definitely been watching you in a lot of ways, and they see who you are as a person and they love it. So, it's not that you're not wanting to be in it. You're wanting to be in it, or you wouldn't be asking about it, right? Sometimes people are just meant to be in our life for a season and not for a long time. And even if you want to get technical, if we find our life partner, what happens if we're 40 years old and our life partner dies? Do we just sit there for the next, we might be alive for the next 50 years. Do we just sit there alone? Or do we look for somebody else? Do we stay stuck on that person we know is never coming back? That person that is not the person that can make us happy? Or do we... Oops. Got a call from an old friend. We used to be real close. I feel like there's somebody from your past that you haven't talked to or heard from in a while that might actually be getting ready to come forward. And it's just going to be out of nowhere, kind of like that music just popping on out of nowhere and really loud. Because I accidentally clicked the button. And then I was like, oh shit, I got to turn that down before it comes on. Because when I'm using my phone to my radio, it's a lot quieter, so I have to turn it up. Yeah, I really just feel like this situation was something that was really good for you. It was something that made you believe in love again. It was something that made you believe you could have what you want. It was something that could show you the potential of your future, but it wasn't necessarily something that was real either. I feel like this person lied a lot about who they are. They may have tried to pretend to be something to entice you in some sort of way. But this person needs to learn how to be themselves so they can attract in something that is actually authentic to them. Because even though they were really good at mirroring what you wanted to have in your life, that's not who they are. It isn't. And they really are learning themselves how to just be themselves. You got something coming for you that's going to be an actual equal give and take. Because this person's going to be honest with you too, and they're really going to be being themselves. And there might be some problems and flaws and things like that. It may not be something absolutely perfect, but it is going to be something beautiful and amazing. So, let's see here. Abracadabra, bee. I want to reach out and grab you. Abracadabra. I want to reach out and grab you. You can do magic. You can have anything that you desire. Magic. You can take a heart of stone and make it melt in your hand. I really do feel like this person has a lot of love for you, though. And actually, they feel very bad for how they've hurt you in the past. And they may even want to come forward and express their apologies as well. And show you who they really are, and possibly even give you that closure on that, because you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, this is definitely not somebody that I would have wanted to be with forever, because they're nothing like what they tried to present to me. But they are a good friend, and I do enjoy their company. We laugh together, we talk together, we have a good time together. So why would I throw that all away over being upset that I can't be with them, especially when I got such an amazing person right in front of me that we're getting ready to have a good life with? Put the pedal to the floor. It is time to go. It is time to leave the past behind, and it's time to move forward. It's time to create love and peace around you, and to feel love and peace in the situations in your life. Because that is what is stirring up the success for you. Some of you are getting ready to go into a relationship that is completely alien to a lot of people in your life. And it's because it may be something where the gender roles are kind of switched, where the female may be the one that is providing for, protecting. If something happens, she may be the one that steps up, things like that. And the male may actually be the one that's more sensitive and emotional and taking care of the house and the kids, or whatever the case may be. It could be something like that because of this here. There could even be a trans involved in some situation as well. Some situation where there was a lot of lies, there was a lot of conflict, drama, chaos, bullshit, all kinds of shit like that. Somebody could have seen open doors for you and could have been extremely jealous of it because they wanted those open doors for themselves, and they may have tried to really destroy a lot of things in your life. They may have tried to confuse you as well about a lot of things. They may have been extremely confused in the actions that they were even taking, because this may not have been very like them as well. You might actually be surprised by the actions that a certain person took too. And you might be drowning because of it a bit. Somebody else could be drowning as well. Somebody could be drowning in alcohol because they are afraid to be what they really want to be, which is very different than the person that they're showing the world. And it could have a lot to do with growing up in a place that's very conservative and not being conservative at all. Crop circles, messages, curiosity, and signs. I love that came out, because you know what? We've been talking a lot about curiosity today. Follow that curiosity. Allow it to take you where you want to go. And those little balls there kind of remind me of those balls of light that popped into those people from that spell. Some of you may be learning more spells. Some of you may be tapping into witchcraft in some way. Some of you may be upgrading your rituals in some way, or creating a new altar, or things like that. And you're being asked to continue down this path to really expand and open your mind and your knowledge on it. Some research might be involved, and at the same time, they're saying you have all the answers inside of you. You don't have to listen to what any man tells you about any of those things. You know how to do this, and it's all ingrained inside of you already. It's all passed down through the line. Through our DNA. Think about bees. When it comes to bees, which is funny that I say bees. Anyway, when it comes to bees, they all know exactly where the best nectar can be found. They all know exactly where the best place to make your home is. They know the different paths, they know the directions, they know how to get there, all of that kind of stuff. And it all comes right when they're born. When they're born, they know these things. And they know these things because it was passed down, just like we do. When people separate themselves from the animals, like we tend to do because we have a giant ego, and they don't see themselves as an animal themselves, they also don't see things like that. Our bloodlines and our DNA and everything that our ancestors have been through has been programmed into us at birth. That's why sometimes we get that really strong fear and there's really nothing to be afraid of. But in the past, there was something to be afraid of. 1,000 years ago, there might have been something to be afraid of. Kind of like Burn the Witch by Sean James. Kind of like back in the day when they used to torture and kill witches. That fear may be ingrained in you. But in this day and age, in a lot of places, that fear is unnecessary. In some places, it's still very necessary. But even then, did you see our ancestors throwing down their fucking shit and deciding that they were just going to give up? That they were going to turn away from their heritage? Some of them, yes. The Irish definitely did. They'd already been hurt enough. On that specific one, anyway. They fought for a long time. I'll say that. But we're being asked to take up that torch now and to fight for what's important to us. Did you know that in Tanzania between 1960 and 2000? Oh shit, how many was it? Around 500,000 witches were killed. I think it was like 300,000, somewhere around there. Witches were killed. People were killed as witches. Mostly old women and young girls. This day and age, something like that was happening. So the more that we step up to that plate and the more we accept ourselves as who we are, we be who we are, practice what we believe, whatever that may be. Because it doesn't even matter what religion you are. The more it shifts that and changes that. It releases that persecution from the past and it puts it to bed. There is a lot of Christians really upset about the beheadings over in the other side of the world right now, and I can understand that. It does suck. And at the same time, they have killed over 1 million people in the last 3,500 years. Over 1 million people for not believing what they believe. And those people are now killing some of theirs for not believing what they believe. Or for trying, it's not for not believing what they believe. It's because they're trying to force them to believe what they believe. And they're not putting up with it anymore. And karma's a fucking bitch. When you do something like that and you abuse your power, it does come back to bite you in the fucking ass. For the last 3,500 years, they have killed, murdered, pillaged, destroyed, tore away people's heritages and forced them to believe theirs. And over the last 50 or so, maybe, they've done it in a much more peaceful way. But it didn't used to be that way. It used to be kill everybody that doesn't believe what you believe because they're evil and they're going to hell anyway. Like Sodom and Gomorrah. Think about it for a minute. That freedom to be yourself and that unashamed energy before Adam and Eve ate that apple, it kind of sounds like ancient Greece or Rome, doesn't it? But boy, the Christians would have had a field day killing all of them because they were evil. No, they were just naked and unashamed. Just saying. So, stalking, intimidation, confrontation. Yeah, somebody has definitely been watching you, keeping an eye on you, keeping tabs on you in some way. If you resonate with that situation, then your ancestors are wanting you to really look at things. They're wanting you to open your eyes. They're wanting you to see what's really going on around you. They're wanting you to pull yourself out of any kind of confused energy as well. And they're also wanting you to accept your inner self and step more fully into who you really are Because I feel like a lot of you have shifted into an energy that is not quite your own energy because of the things that have been going on around you and your distrust or your paranoia. It's time to embrace faith instead. And if you feel like you need help, ask for it. Whether it's in real life or with your ancestors, because they will step in and they will help you in the ways that they can. But they got to know what you want help with first. And I mean, your ancestors, yeah, sure, they do know. And at the same time, they also try not to step on your feet. So they want to make sure that you're okay with them helping before they help. So when you reach out and ask them like that, it grants them that permission. Some of them don't want to step on toes. And some of them might handle it differently than you would handle it. And so they're like, you know, if you want me to handle it, I will, but I'm going to let you try your way first. And if you want me to handle it, you're going to have to say something. Because, yeah. Alpha Centaurians, foresight, planning, and strategy. Once again with this fucking chess game, you're playing chess with an X here. So some of you are really needing to develop your skills on that. Read more into it, learn more about it. Some of you might be needing to look up narcissistic personality disorder or psychopathy or sociopath type of things and kind of read into those things, understand those things a bit more. Some of you might be needing to learn how to detach a bit too. Instead of getting so fully attached to things emotionally, it is a good idea to be able to detach from things. And what's funny is that is what those types of people are able to do that is different from us. They're able to detach. Some of them are always detached because they don't have much emotions. Sometimes they do find them, sometimes they don't. Because all of those things were created in them. And I feel like when things are created in you like that, things can be uncreated. But most of the time they aren't, especially since most of this world believes they can't be uncreated. So they are never really going to be able to be. It's kind of like in the Gangster's Paradise song when he's talking about how nobody could actually help him. They front. That's why he knows his life's out of luck, yo. And those people, think about how hopeless those people feel when they realize they have something like that. Especially if they're really not that bad of a person, but they have something like that. And that's what's created a lot of the problems in their life, and they have no idea how to deal with it or fix it. They have no idea how to interact with the people around them in a way that would actually create better relationships, things like that. And also, everybody is terrified of them once they find out about their diagnosis. How sad and miserable of a life would that be, really, right? Thank you, Rashima. Kind of like borderline. People with borderline or bipolar. Instantly, everybody wants to blame everything on them. They're the scapegoat for everything if they have bipolar or borderline. Period. It doesn't matter if they did anything. They're the ones to blame. And they admit that they're the ones to blame half the time because they got emotional during that confrontation or whatever. And you know what? A lot of times they aren't. Yeah, they did get emotional, but they got emotional for a fucking reason. When somebody's stepping over your boundaries or disrespecting you or shitting on you, of course you're going to fucking get emotional. But they get extra emotional. 2 of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. So right now, you are doing a lot. You're working a lot. You're taking on a lot. You're very capable of being able to take care of these tasks. You may be putting some stuff away. Somebody might actually be watching you do this as well. You're leaving shit behind. You're leaving the battle behind. You have finally stepped up to fight too. Some of you are accepting your wildness. Some of you are accepting your shadow side. Some of you are really embracing some of those aspects of yourself that you have kind of judged or hated about you or others in the past. And you're allowing yourself to do some of those things. It's kind of like, okay, say somebody really needs something and it is something very important, but you kind of need something. And all it is to be able to put away some of this money so that you don't got to worry about it tomorrow. You're going to tell them you don't have any money. You're going to tell them you can't help them. Whatever the case may be. You may be putting yourself first a little bit more. And this is part of that strategy that is needed. That's that whole detaching energy and not feeling like everything is your responsibility. 33, you are extremely skilled in some area too. And 55, because of your learning, because of everything you've gone through, because of all your experiences all put together, you are extremely wise and skilled in certain areas of your life. And you are definitely the best at playing this game of chess. And maybe you haven't even realized it before now because your emotions ran you a little too much in the past. And now you're learning how to put them on the back burner just a little bit. You might have even had some help with this, especially if you're somebody who does have some sort of mental illness that they've labeled as a mental illness, like bipolar or borderline, where you are extremely attached to your emotions and they kind of direct everything in your fucking life. You have learned how to kind of pull yourself out of that energy, pull yourself back on that, and how to approach things with a very calm and stable mind and calm and stable energy to where you can really take care of tasks much easier at this point. Somebody else may actually be saving up money for something in particular as well, a trip. Somebody may be paying somebody to watch you or monitor you in some way as well, like a private eye, or even just desperate people that really need the money. 3111. The 6 of voice, the page of arms, and the 5 of voice. So we're going to look up the page of arms because, you know, I still have not completely learned these cards. I haven't been using them as much lately either. So, page of arms. Upright. Loyal to a fault, the page of arms is an upright, young warrior who knows the limits of his own strength. He will try to end conflicts whenever possible, though his attempts may seem clumsy. The page has turned out to be cunning and frivolous and is possibly faking his goodwill towards you. Be prepared for his betrayal and the conflict that ensues because of it. So, some of you have learned to be prepared for betrayal. Because of a very harsh and unexpected betrayal that occurred in your past, a lot of you have learned a lot. And you have learned how to be prepared for that betrayal and how to handle it if it comes about. So we don't need to think about it. We don't need to focus on it. We don't need to worry about it. You may be feeling limited by your own knowledge or strength or power in certain situations that you have that knowledge, strength, and power in. And somebody is definitely keeping an eye on you, considering the fact that we have the Page of Swords out here as well, because in a traditional deck, that's what the Page of Swords would be. So, 5 of voice. An unexpected loss has led to anguish, leaving you disillusioned and disappointed. Still, something remains from the ashes of your sorrow. That's like the 5 of Cups, once again. Whether it be lessons learned or greater understanding gained. Your joy has been replenished. If you didn't watch part 1, you might want to go check out part 1 too. Your joy has been replenished when it is most needed. A companion has returned to your party, or perhaps a new alliance is being formed. Your hopes will be answered in kind. 6 of voice. From the past may come new possibilities. An opportunity, perhaps a new relationship lies before you. Look towards your past acquaintances for aid or insight. You may cling too much to your memories and worthless acquaintances. Know that the time has come to look towards future quests as well. So, it really is time to let go of that past and the pain and the trauma, the sadness, the guilt, the shame, the loss. Because like we were talking about in part 1, it's like being in quicksand. And that quicksand, the more you struggle, the more you hurt, the more you worry, the more it pulls you down in it, the more you get stuck, the more you get trapped. In order to get out, you have to calm your breathing. You have to calm your energy. You have to calm your body. And you have to be able to move forward. So it's time to let go of that past experience that you've had and the past journey that you've had and the people in your life that have hurt you or betrayed you, stalked you, scarred you, became obsessed with you, were very manipulative, controlling, possessive, abusive. Because in order to do the things in this world that you are here to do, you can't hold on to the pain of the past. You have to remember the beautiful parts of the past. And you have to be able to turn around and see the beautiful parts of the future that are right in front of you that you may not believe anymore because of these people that got into your mind in the past, who confused you and caused you pain and misery and hurt. So between messages, I'm going to cool my phone down a little bit. It'll give you a chance to kind of listen to some white noise. Take a couple of those deep breaths now. As you take a breath in and out, you can let all that tension flow out of you. Allow all of your muscles to just relax. Allow the pain and stress of the day and the worry to just fall away. And envision beautiful scenarios, beautiful situations, and people coming in. Beautiful successes and recognitions coming in for the things that you've done or the places that you're going. The hard work you've done and put in is getting ready to pay off. And everything is going to be a smooth sailing adventure from this day forward. I also want to take this time to thank everyone for the support they send my way, whether it be through liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, making purchases. Everything that you guys do to support me on my path helps me to be able to support you to the best of my abilities on your path. So thank you guys so much for that. Thank you as well to our ancestors for being here today to bring us these messages and to talk with us and to help us to understand certain situations in our lives. Ones that they may have faced while they were alive. And even if they didn't overcome it in the correct way, they know a lot more about it and they know new ways to try, and they also know what doesn't work. So definitely thank you to them for being here today as well. Pay attention to those around you. You have fiery passion and you have skills, knowledge, and strength that not everyone has. You are able to bring your creation to life. You have everything that you need within you. We each have a purpose here, every single person, and yours is very important too. Think of the times when things could have been deadly, but they weren't in your life. You are never alone. The divine, angels, and spiritual realm has your back. I've known quite a few people actually that it's like they can't die. I know a friend who at one point pulled the trigger on himself in the shower twice, and it didn't go off, it jammed. And then he pulled the trigger when it was pointed towards the ground and it shot the bottom of his bathtub. My mom had a friend when she went to work at the nursing home that she was working at. It was a friend from when she was with her first husband. And that guy had shot himself in the head. And then he had shot himself in the head again because he didn't die the first time. And the second time he became paralyzed from the neck down. So he's living at this nursing home when he's 40 something years old, like 43, 44 years old, living in this nursing home. If you don't think he was there for a purpose, well, he was definitely there for a purpose in my mom's life. Good example of what not to do and to make sure you're dead if you're going to kill yourself. If they let you leave. Love. Love isn't something that you can see. Love does not cost a fee. Give your love with all your heart. Don't stop even if you part. Drop the expectations. Love is something unconditional. It isn't always sane or rational. In loving another, you love their scars. Reaching deeply, you're counting stars. Like the one I told, yeah, I do love you. For some insane reason. Never let them lay those on you. But love is there to get you through. Love is in all the kindness we see. Love can truly set your heart free. Patience is a very big part. Understanding is an art. Compassion fills your heart and mind. Love does not ask you to bind. Empathy fills you up inside. Forgiveness also comes along for the ride. If you love yourself enough to speak your piece, to know what you deserve and to release, you also know that love can be from afar. Hope still shining like a star. Sometimes love is painful too, especially if a lover was untrue. Don't allow a painful past to last. Out of your soul, that poison is now cast. So, 11/11/20. If you guys want to be able to find this poem again, this poem is on my other channel, Dee's Storytime. You can find a link for that in my description box below as well, or any other poems. If you want to get a message, you can always just click on that channel as well and randomly scroll through there and click on one of them, and you may have a message in there too. I've never actually said that before, so yeah, there might be somebody here who could definitely gain from that. Yes, you can, Tori. I'm probably going to be on here for about another 20 minutes or so, so go ahead and send your payment and throw your question below, and we will answer it. So, you are learning on this journey what love is, what real love is, what true love is, what unconditional love is. Not only so you can love others to the highest of your ability, but so you can love yourself. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, that when you judge another, you judge yourself 10 times more harshly. So if you're hating somebody for something that they've done, if you ever did that, you would hate yourself 10 times more. Or sometimes you end up being put in that position so that you can end up doing the same thing. It's almost like it's out of your control. That way you can learn how to love that person that did that too. It's kind of like when women blame other women for their man cheating on them and hate them for it, when that man has accountability in that situation too. Which reminds me of the song Bad Guy. White shirt, now red, my bloody nose. Sleeping, you're on your tippy toes, creeping around like no one knows. Think you're so criminal. Bruises on both my knees for you. Don't say thank you, oh please. I do what I want when I'm wanting to. My soul so cynical. So you're a tough guy, like it really rough guy, just can't get enough guy, chest always so puff guy. Well, I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the bad guy, duh. So that song always makes me think about the fact that it is at least half the other person's fault too, especially if they aren't telling her that they're married or that they have a girlfriend, or they're lying to her about the situation that they're in, saying something along the lines of like, it's okay with my partner because we cannot do anything anymore, or whatever the fucking case may be. That person is just as responsible, and 9 times out of 10 that woman will blame the other woman, and the man will blame the other woman. Nobody ever puts the accountability on that man when it comes to situations like that. And a lot of that stems back to the Christianity thing once again. For the last 3,500 fucking years, we have been made to believe that women are supposed to be pious and innocent and beautiful, and if they ever do anything wrong, they are evil. But boys will be boys, and they're going to do everything, and it's okay if they do, and they never have to take accountability or responsibility or anything of the sort. They don't even technically have to fulfill their role of being the provider and protector, and haven't for a very long time. And still they're not seen as evil for it. Isn't that weird? But this day and age, it's balancing out. Sorry, I really think that there's a lot of my female ancestors that are still somewhat miffed by that, and I can not blame them because, you know, my grandfather and my grandmother had a really fucked up relationship. He demanded sex from her every day, regardless of whether or not she wanted to have it, whether she was on her period, didn't matter. Not to mention the fact that half the time that they were together, she was taking care of the house, the family, the kids, him, and working 2 jobs at times. Because he's only making $50 every night, she found out that he was making $500 a fucking night because he was working as a dealer in one of the VIP rooms in one of the biggest casinos in Vegas. She quit her jobs. She took their savings and bought land in her name to give to her kids. Well, originally she was going to go move there. She was going to divorce him. She was going to leave. She didn't give a shit what he had to say about it. And then she found out she had lung cancer and emphysema, and she died within 6 months. But that last 6 months that they were together, both of them had their shotgun on the table to eat dinner. Because she swore that if he laid one fucking hand on her ever again, she was going to shoot his ass. And he was like, she's going to do it. I better keep my shotgun there too. There was a lot of abuse in past relationships. Everybody's like, oh, my grandparents stayed together 80 years. Whatever happened to relationships like that? People got sick of sticking around for toxicity and abuse. Women got sick of rolling over and taking whatever their fucking man threw at them. So they stopped staying. You shouldn't stay in something just because it's shameful to leave. Just because everybody else thinks that you are an evil, awful, horrible person for walking away. You shouldn't just stay. Sometimes staying is the worst option for both parties. Regardless of how much you hurt them by leaving, a lot of times you hurt them more by staying, especially if you're somebody who's fucking everybody in the world while you're staying with them. And if they would have just left, they wouldn't have been cheating on them. But most people, if they would have left, would have demonized them then too. At least this way, nobody may ever find out, but usually they do. Nobody will be talking about us. No, all of it always comes out. It's exposed. That's what I told somebody I was dealing with at one point, is everything always comes out, period. Funny enough, there was a phone call placed to that person's work where somebody was telling them all about it, and they already knew, but they didn't want anybody else to know. And now this person's running around telling everybody. Well, that's what happens. And that person wasn't even involved with that person. That person just hated the person that they were involved with and has been trying to destroy their life for years. And so they're busy trying to cause chaos, drama, and conflict for them. And for anybody that comes into their life, so nobody wants to stick around, because guess what? It's too much trouble. It's too much drama, too much bullshit, because that is a very true fact. There's a lot of people that do not want to stick around for anything anymore. Anything. There is a happy medium. But most of the time when we break free from situations like that, it's hard to find that balance again, because we shift from this one extreme of sticking around for every abuse there is to this other extreme of, I am not going to put up with one fucking foot out of order. And then you kind of also become that controlling, manipulative person too when it comes to that, because everybody must live according to you. But then you come back to this nice happy medium in between the two, where you're willing to put up with things, you're willing to compromise, but at the same time there are certain things that you are going to walk away from. I am still taking questions, sweetheart. I'm probably going to be on here for about another 20 minutes or so. So if you wanted to throw your payment on there and then throw your question down there, I will answer it. By the way, hello. Open doors. We're back to the open doors from the first part of this video as well. So if you're resonating with this part, make sure you check out that first half too. Kiss me now, kiss me hard. Sing a tune like a bard. Candles, flowers, date night too. Romance me with something new. No more nights spent alone. Somewhere new to call my home. My heart is open and ready for you. Don't be a disappointment too. 12/9/22. So a lot of you right now, your heart is currently open and ready and waiting for something beautiful to happen or come into being. That open energy about you, because that open energy is what's going to allow you to be able to invite new situations in. That doesn't mean the first one you walk into is necessarily going to be something that's going to stick around forever. And like we discussed in the first half, nothing lasts forever, honestly. It just doesn't. So you might as well enjoy what you have in front of you. Explore your options, and don't be ashamed of that. And don't feel like it's such a bad thing to explore what's out there and what you could have to be deemed suitable. Year of your birth stated in the records. Spam messages. Some of you might actually even be very focused on age as well. In some way, somebody could have lied about their age. So that they could be deemed suitable. I don't know. I get so excited every time I hear your voice or see your face. I love to play with you, and you always pick the best toys too. My bowls are almost never empty. If they are, some days, it's because you're really sad, and I don't even care anymore because I just want to make you smile again. It's kind of like my cats. Awesome, thank you, sweetheart. And I will answer it right after this message. It's kind of like my cats. My cats, when I first got them, first off, my one cat was like, I need a bathroom in this house. That cat is outside all the damn time anyway. Fucking go to the bathroom outside. No, I'm gonna piss on your bed because you didn't give me a bathroom. Where the fuck's my bathroom? I don't even have a bathroom in my house, by the way. I'm living in an RV with no fucking bathroom and no power and no nothing. And you want a bathroom, you spoiled little shit. They are still on that throne that Egypt put them on 3,000 or fucking 10,000 years ago. They're still sitting on that damn throne, guys. So I got a litter box, damn it. And so she went in the litter box, and my other cat, I got a new cat again after that, and then both of them are using the litter box. Both of them are at a friend's house right now. One of them's going to stay there because he kind of chose that as his person. The other one, I would really like to be able to have with me, but she does not like riding around in the car. And since I put my RV in storage because it's broke down, yeah, that's where she's staying for the moment. She's not super happy about it, I don't think, but maybe I'll be able to find a place for her too, or maybe I'll be able to do something else. We'll see. But I was kind of depressed for a minute this last winter. And while I was in that depression state, because every time the litter box got a little too full, they'd go to the bathroom on the floor, you know? That's what cats do. If you don't keep their box clean, they will go to the bathroom on the floor. Don't beat them for it. Fucking clean their box. So anyway, and I was cleaning the neighbor's box at that point too, because, you know, they had issues with doing the first thing. And I got into that depressed state. I forgot about their litter box for like a week and a half, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry that I forgot to clean your box this last week when I was supposed to. But they didn't go to the bathroom on the floor once. Not once. Because they were like, Mom, it's okay. We understand. You're going through something right now, and we're not going to make it worse for you. We're just going to go outside because we can. We're just assholes. So anyway, your pets absolutely love you if you have pets. They fucking love you. You are their family. They're your family. They may not be able to talk human language, but you guys talk anyway. And they see everything that you're going through. And when you're hurting and upset, don't feel too guilty because they don't care. They really don't. They just want to be there for you. They want to lift you up. They want you to feel good again. So take the time you need to take care of yourself and to get shit done. Make sure you set aside a little time for just them and you. But at the end of the day, when you're hurting, they know you're hurting, and they're okay with it. So, Jordan, what is Aries' feelings and intentions towards you? Romance, soulmates, empathy, Knight of Stakes. This person may be kind of creating stories about past events to try to make themselves seem better so they don't have to take accountability for a lot of things that have happened. You are definitely very skilled at whatever's going on in this situation. You know what's going on. You've learned from past things too. And so you know exactly how to bring this person out of this, how to make them see and look at what has happened so they can face it head on and joy in reality. Because I feel like they're kind of living in this fantasy world. You know, they're unsure as well. They may be being very hot and cold or in and out or on and off, or that could be the energy that they had in the past. 2 of lockpicks. They're feeling there's multiple ways to kind of unlock this situation and to get into it. Is kind of the one thing that I was thinking of too. This person might actually even be trying to decide what way to get into this situation instead of just being themselves. You have the ability to balance 2 aspects of your life, such as work and home. This has led to happiness and harmony through new projects, or though new projects may be difficult to begin at this time. So you might, this person as well, they've just recently learned how to balance things in their life. And so they may be having a hard time adding new situations into their life, or it's okay, sweetheart. You can always watch that first part later too. Yeah, this person may be having a hard time balancing things in their life or adding new things in. I'm not sure exactly everything that I said, but they might be having a hard time balancing things out and adding new things in. You might have dealt with players in the past, and so that could be seeming like what this is because of the lessons you've learned before. And because this person, once again, they might be kind of making up some things and, you know, kind of not necessarily being fully honest about things. And a lot of that is because they are not wanting to tell you what really happened in some of their past situations, because they might come out looking like the bad guy. All of us are the bad guys sometimes, and that's okay. But this person is definitely seeing this situation as something that brings them a lot of happiness, a lot of joy. They may even want to do something more romantic, like, you know what, it might actually be a good idea to invite them over to your place one night for dinner and to just have like a candlelit dinner for yourselves, to set it up and schedule it out. That way it's something that they can make the time around and things like that. Because it may be hard right now for this person to make a whole lot of time for new things coming into their life. And that's a lot of the reason why they've been very hot and cold or on and off. There was also someone else who paid for a question as well. 5555. So you can go ahead and throw your question down there at any time. This payment is pending because you need to confirm. So there might actually be something as well that you guys are getting ready to receive, but you may not have made a full decision yet on what you want. So that could be why things haven't quite got to that level yet in some way. You might be very unsure or torn between two different paths. And so it might be time to throw all your eggs in one basket and choose a path. Whether or not it's going to pan out, it doesn't matter. But there's going to be a lot of good things coming your way for making this decision. So Tori, how much have you grown when it comes to understanding romantic relationships as a whole? You definitely have a lot of things to celebrate. You have hit marriage level. 57 and 43. You have learned how to tell people when you're not interested in a situation with them. You have also learned that certain things you thought used to matter do not matter as much as you may have placed priority on them to you. As you've gotten older, you might see things a little bit differently than you did in your past. You've gained a lot of skills. You are definitely a relationship expert at this point, because 33 is on screen, and that's what 33 represents, is things that you've learned, you've grown from, and you've become an expert at. And it don't matter if you're in a relationship, be like, oh, how are you such an expert at relationships? You don't even have a partner. Actually, I was talking to a guy a couple years ago who, there was an argument between him and the friend of the person he was seeing, because she was trying to say some things to her friend about it. And he's like, how would you even know anyway, because you don't even have a relationship? Yeah, she don't have a relationship because she's not going to put up with somebody like you. And I'm sorry, he was my friend at that time, but at the same time, yeah, he was somebody that was not very great in relationships, and he was definitely a cheater and things like that. He also had some problems with feeling like he couldn't take care of himself and needing somebody else to take care of him, or feeling like he needed to sell himself in some way for his needs. Because he didn't have anything else valuable to offer. Just like a woman might feel like being a whore is the only value she has to offer to this earth, men can feel that way too. And actually there's a fair amount more of them these days that do. Because there's a fair amount more women that are in that energy of buying men and having them be what they want them to be, and then walking away when they don't want them anymore. Grays, tall, utilitarian, organized, intimidating. Tall whites, uncertainty, distrust, guarded. So, you may be in a very uncertain and guarded energy, a distrustful energy. So you have learned how to put your boundaries there. You've learned how to explore situations before just jumping headlong into them. But you also may be holding yourself back in certain ways because of the past. So now there's a need to let go as well. You may be also very intimidating to certain love interests as well because of how much you have learned, how much you've grown, how strong your foundation is as well. Because you're not somebody, say the big bad wolf is coming along, he's not going to be able to blow down that fucking brick house you made because it is sturdy and made to last. And not only that, you're also going to shield those in your energy as well. Hey there, little Red Riding Hood, you sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. You don't feel like you need somebody to walk with you through the woods anymore. You're not willing to allow or accept in somebody that has bad intentions simply because you may feel safer with them around. You've learned how to walk on your own. You've learned how to be single. And you've learned how to be okay with it, so that you don't just accept whatever walks through your door. You've learned how to deal with that jealousy of others when it comes to situations you may be involved in as well. The Star, the Page of Stakes, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Scythes. Yeah, you have become extremely skilled, extremely wise at expressing yourself, communicating, setting boundaries, understanding yourself, seeing yourself, knowing what you want, what you don't want. You've become very self-respecting, very self-confident, strong, solid, independent. And you've also learned a lot about how, when, and where to place your care, your compassion, your understanding, where to place your bet, and what situation is going to be most fruitful and create the most joy for you. You've learned how to have hope against all odds and how to focus on the beauty in each situation, even if there was some darkness in it. And that is definitely one you've become extremely skilled at too, because we have 55 and 35 on the screen, or 33. You've also learned how to not feel alone, depressed, miserable, suicidal, whatever, by not being accepted by whatever crowd or group or person that you may be interacting with as well. You may have also learned that it's okay to travel, that it's okay to move around, that it's okay to be with different people, that it's okay to explore your options and to not have to get so stuck on committing to the first thing that comes along. But you also know your value, because when you are in a situation, you're very dedicated, loyal, and committed to that situation. And it's because you know yourself and what you want. So you know that this is the situation that you're wanting, but if somebody else is not going to behave in the same manner, you're okay with cutting that situation off. So guys, if anybody else does have a question, you can ask one more question. If it's done before I am done with my closeout message, I will answer it. And we're going to get this closeout message done and be done for today. You remember, okay, a while back I told you how you know how to walk away. But do I know how to stay? Yeah, that's the one you're working on. That's because that's what it was talking about when it was talking about that guarded, distrustful, uncertain. You may have an issue at the moment of overthinking situations when you step into them because of the past, but now you're learning how to let go of those past things, to allow them to lend you their wisdom and their knowledge, but to still be able to enjoy the moment and not worry so much about whether or not it's going to be permanent. But just allowing it to be what it is. And if it does work out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Cool. Either way's good. And to just let things unfold naturally like that. So let's see what this message is that we got here for our closeout message. The grass isn't always greener. Water your own yard more. Stop giving to so many unimportant things. Start giving to you and to yours. Things can be repaired here, but not if your focus is elsewhere. Inside yourself, you will find the answers. If you have been isolated, use this time wisely. Look within yourself. Take the time for you and for self-care. Introspection and time for it are a blessing. Do not waste this time on feeling alone because you are not alone. You're very welcome, beautiful. A lot of people will get so stuck on needing a relationship that they don't realize that they have their animals there. They're not alone. That they have their children there. They're not alone. That they have their family there. That they're not alone. A lot of times, that's because they are very codependent people. When they go into a relationship, they cut off all their other connections and they only focus their time, their energy, their effort, everything they are on just that relationship. And then what happens if you wake up and that person's dead tomorrow? You have nothing and no one. And then you feel completely alone. But technically, those people are still there if you don't have too much pride to reach out. So, you are not alone. You have people around you who love you, who support you, who care about you. Build those connections, build those relationships, build that solid network of support. And then when you go into a new relationship, keep those connections. And don't sacrifice them for the relationship. For the relationship that may not even pan out or that may end suddenly and leave you with nothing if you chose to make that everything. So don't choose to make your romantic connections everything in your life. Choose to have multiple things in your life and eggs in baskets everywhere so that you have baskets. And I'm not saying have multiple relationships or partnerships with people. I'm talking about having multiple connections with people. Strong connections, stable connections, connections that last. Connections that aren't necessarily romantic in nature, but are good connections to have. Around the place that I'm at, it is really hard for anybody to fucking, wow, to just have a friendship with somebody instead of having to try to make it into a relationship. I make money quickly and easily, and that's because they can't let go of that idea of wanting it to be what they want it to be. And they're so focused on that and overthinking that they can't just have a friendship with somebody and make it something real. And even if you want a relationship with somebody, it has to be built off of a friendship anyway. But if it wasn't a friendship at the core that is actually going to last, whether there's a relationship or not, then it wasn't a friendship at all, which is kind of sad. I make money quickly and easily. As life flows, I am unaffected by the ebbs. So there is a flow and an ebb going on in your life right now where all of a sudden there's a lot of abundance and then there's none. And then all of a sudden there's a lot and then there's none. And, you know, that happens. Be okay with it. Others are very giving and generous without expecting anything in return, which means I have to be very giving and generous without expecting anything in return. If I want that energy to come to me, I have to give that energy out. A lot of people have learned how to be extremely protective over what they have to offer because they feel like they've never been given back in return for it in the past. If it doesn't come back from that person, it comes back from somewhere. So don't worry about where it comes back from, because the more we share, the more we're gonna get. And I actually mentioned that at the beginning of the first reading too, or the first part of this. So really, if you watch this second part, make sure you go back and watch that too. Energy flows through me and all around me. Negative energy is repelled by me. When I speak, people listen. My channels are growing. My clients are growing. People love the videos and share them. More subscribers come in every day. So much ad revenue. And by the way, thank you guys so much for the support you send my way, because these are my scripting here. And it does work. I sing with confidence and with beauty. I am not evil for using my natural gifts. My gifts are beautiful and they are good. Spells flow easily and freely, with no guilt or no shame. Quitting smoking gets easier every day. I don't want them anymore. I only want what's best for me. Someone who wants to go the distance. My heart is free of the past. I am not a witch, cunning folk, shaman, bard, whatever you want to call it. That's what I equate with more. And that's because those religions were fucking 30,000 years old. 50,000 years old, 100,000 years old. Who the fuck knows how old those religions actually were? But that's who we used to be before 3,500 years ago. And that's what we used to rely on. That used to be the doctors. That used to be the healers. That used to be the medicine. That used to be the medicine man, the medicine woman. Sugar Shack Sessions, medicine man. Medicine man, medicine woman. I really like Sugar Shack Sessions. But all of those things were demonized. It's kind of like black people who do not like white people to call them a nigger. Okay? And yeah, they're taking back the word and they're doing it in the right way anyway, because they are calling themselves that, embracing that, and being that, which is great. But to me, that's not what resonates with me. What resonates with me is older than time. What resonates with me is what my heart brings to me. The things they've invented to go along with that over the last 60 years are not what's resonating with me. That is new shit. But what I'm doing is old shit. I don't know. Not to mention, yeah. We're going to go back to the song Burn the Witch by Sean James. I will not scream or give them that satisfaction. No, I won't confess my false interactions. And as the flames grow higher, I hear them chant, burn the witch, because they have hate in their hearts. But even that is not going to make me stand down, because this is who I am. Our ancestors are behind us and fighting with us. Their strength, their beauty, their fighting nature, how they stood firm, tall, and strong in their positions. That's being lent to us at this time for us to fight for what we believe in, for what we want most in this world, for the changes in this world that will allow us to live in peace, that will allow us to not be seen as evil entities, but as the goodness that we bring into this world, instead of having people scream at us that we're going to go to hell because we're worshiping the devil, because we're doing what we innately have been created to do. We're going to have people praising the gifts and recognizing the beauty, because we stood firm and we fought for it. Our granddaughters and our grandsons are going to be able to do that freely, are going to be able to gain back the lost wisdom and knowledge. And it was never lost because it was right inside of us, and it was right inside of our line. You're welcome, love. In the 60s and 70s, they fought hard in this country. They fought with everything in them to create change. And there are so many people that are like, oh, that was such a disgusting, awful, horrible time period. We don't want it to turn into that again. Don't allow them to protest for their rights. Don't allow them to go out and fight. People shouldn't be doing that. People shouldn't be causing this drama, this chaos, this disorder. Why? Because we should just let the government control and run everything in our fucking lives and never fight back against it when they're overstepping their power and authority? Hell motherfucking no. Hell no. When they are treating the poverty-stricken people as badly as they used to treat the black people? No. There is slavery these days. It's called modern slavery. And you've been led to believe that there isn't. But there is. And that's what people are fighting against. And if it wasn't for the people in the 60s and 70s, we would not live in the world that we live in today, in any country, even if it only occurred in this country. We wouldn't live in the same world. This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, because we need a little controversy, and it feels so empty without me. It does feel empty without you. Your purpose is amazing and great. Look at Eminem's purpose. There was a lot of people who fought against him. Constantly, every day, he had to deal with people hating him for what he was doing and what he was creating. But he also had people who loved him for allowing them to be themselves, for allowing them to be able to live in a different world than they used to live in because of his words and his actions. Every singer that's ever come across your radio has made that kind of impact. Every talk show host, every politician, every lawyer, every judge, every doctor, every janitor has made some sort of impact in this world that has created those changes, those shifts. And you're here to create those too. So embrace it and love it. And don't hate your differences. Don't hate others' differences. You have been on this journey for so long, tired, weary, head hung low. Traveling on this road so long, just trying to find my way back home. The home is dead and gone, dead and gone. I know we all mourn those past situations, the past people, the losses we've had, the grief we've had, the hurt and pain on this journey, and how hard and long and harrowing it can seem at times. But we have beauty in that journey too, and it's time to start seeing it. Look back on those days, not with misery or pain, but with happiness and joy, knowing that those days were amazing and beautiful and so important in this world and in your life. Keep going. Find that spark of hope. Look for the good. Look for the light. Sometimes we have to actively seek it out because it is so drowned out in those shadows. Know that those shadows will clear away again, and as they do, the sun will come out. Those things you avoid that you know will be good for you, it's time to do them. The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. That 9-year-old knew how to pull herself and everybody around her out of depression, out of despair, out of hurt. She was feeling so hurt that night. She was sitting there alone, crying over the losses, in pain, imagining beautiful things that could come in the future, even if right now was the bleakest, most dark, despairing point of her life. And then that other little girl woke up and started crying for her. And she ran right over there to convince her that this world is beautiful, that there is amazing things that happen, and that even if right now everything is dark, there will be light again. And in doing so, she convinced herself too. Because the more you tell yourself that, and the more you tell others that, the more you believe it, and the more you find it to be true. The more you pull yourself out of that depression, and that hurt, and that pain. Take a walk by moon and sun. Try hard to find the fun. Leave behind all pain and worry. Trust me, dear, there's no hurry. Don't let yourself fall too far. Remember who you really are. All that you've been through to this date. There is nothing here to hate. Reparent you by taking care. Get up now and do your hair. Put on something nice to wear. Get out of the house without a care. Depression is no fun, I know. Only you have the power to let it go. 8/27/21. You're gonna hold on to it with the tightest fist you can. And you're gonna cling to it and grip to it. But if you allow it to, those beautiful things that come in and that light that shines, you can see and you can bask in. You're definitely welcome, Tori. I am so grateful to have you here and thankful to have you here, beautiful. You don't even know how much your support means to me. Merkaba. Movement, long distance, travel, excitement. Well, I guess you probably do because you have supporters on your channel too, I'm sure. And if anybody's interested, she has a channel as well, and you might want to go check it out because I felt very drawn to mention that at this time. So, movement, long distance, travel, excitement, earth, survival, adaptable, reliable. You have everything in you to be able to just go out in the middle of fucking nowhere and survive too. You really do, because it has been passed down. It has been passed down. And the more you dive into your roots and the further back you go, the more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding you gain because of your connection. Take some time to spend some time in nature, connecting with your ancestors, and allow their wisdom to flow to you through the roots that you have to this earth. This beautiful mother beneath our feet, not hell beneath our feet, not an evil temptress beneath our feet, not a disgusting cesspool or pit, but this beautiful, amazing earth who is both evil and good. Mother destroyer, yeah, one in the same. Mr. Preacher, time to get off the throne. Because I'm the master now. And damn, it's good to be home. That's the world we're coming into, and that's the world we're creating. One of equality again. One where the mother, the sister, the daughter is seen as just as beautiful as the father, the brother, and the son. Is just as valuable and important. And the father, son, and brother's lives are just as valuable as the mother, sister, and daughters. Because if you want to get technical, that's the thing that bothers me about right now. A lot of the trans people are women or girls or whatever, they're so upset because the trans people are competing in their sports. Their argument is that they are not as athletic as them. They're not as strong as them. They don't do those things as good as them. So of course they're always going to win. And yet, do you know how many of our fucking women ancestors are probably rolling over in their fucking graves going, what are you, stupid? We fought so that we could be seen as equal. We fought to prove that our lives were no more valuable than the soldiers so we could go to war. We fought to prove that we could handle just as much as they could so we could go to war, so we could work in an office, so that we could be a CEO or a politician or a queen without having to need a king there. And at the same time, you want to know how you become better at something? By doing it, by practicing it, by putting your all into it. And yes, when it comes to building muscle and things like that, if both of them are participating equally, who knows though, because has there ever been a study done where a man and a woman do exactly the same thing and put in exactly the same effort, energy, and everything else into creating the same results? And are they the same or are they different? Who knows? Because I don't know if there's ever even been a study that's been done for that. What I do know is there are a lot of women that are stronger than a lot of men out there. And there's a lot of men that are stronger than a lot of women out there. There's a lot of men who are so much better with children than a lot of women out there. Think about that for a minute. And it's because that's what they care about, that's what they love, that's what they put their time, their energy, their effort into. And some of them, that's what's natural to them. Regardless of whether or not this earth has tried to place a label on them, that's what's natural to them. And when they were busy living by those labels, they were doing unnatural things. Because they were doing things that were against themselves, like my dad back in the day. If my dad would have felt comfortable being a house husband, a house father, he probably would have been a lot fucking happier, because holy fuck, he would have made the best house husband and father there ever was. But he wasn't a man doing that, right? He wasn't doing his job doing that, right? And because of how men treated women for so fucking long in that position, he also would have had to answer to somebody else who was in charge, because the one with the money makes the rules, right? Or the person staying home and taking care of everything and everyone and working 24/7 and on call 24/7 technically has just as much right to every bit of money that comes into that house as the other one, because they are working just as hard, if not harder, than the other person. They should be seen as equally as valuable, regardless of whether or not it's a man or a woman doing that. They should be seen as equally valuable. Shit, they should be seen as equally valuable if there's somebody who's sick and can't do a whole lot, but they still contribute in the ways that they can. They still have something to offer. It's kind of like the way that a lot of Asian countries put a lot of value on their older generation, even when they're sick, even when they're hurting, even when they're on their way out of this world. And they aren't contributing money. They aren't contributing hard work. They aren't contributing labor. They aren't contributing much of anything, unless you know what to look for, because they're contributing a lot of valuable wisdom and knowledge and information. And they did contribute a lot throughout their life And they should have somebody who cares when they can't contribute anymore. But sometimes nobody does care. It's kind of like when you spend all your time taking care of somebody who has a lot of mental health problems going on, helping them get through their day, being there to stand by them, kind of like with my ex-husband, and then you kind of fall off the deep end for a minute and everybody in your life disappears. You saw the value in them, but they may not have saw the value in you. And that could have happened a lot in a lot of people's lives. But that doesn't mean nobody's ever going to see that value, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't see that value. Whatever that value is, and whether or not it fits your gender role. There probably wouldn't be so many people wanting to turn into women or wanting to turn into men if it wasn't for the fact that they're not allowed to be what they want to be without becoming that, which is fucking ridiculous. Ace of Cups, 5 of Cups, and the 10 of Pentacles. So you are learning how to love yourself enough to be able to let go of the shame and the guilt of the past. You're learning how to fill your cup on your own. You're learning not to need anyone. You're also learning how to be in new environments and make new connections and how to let go of the past. You are also leaving an extremely strong legacy behind yourself for those that are following you to follow as well. I also feel like you're learning how to walk away from certain offers as well that looked like they were your wish come true but weren't, with your head held high. Not feeling like you're naive or stupid for it. Not feeling like you shouldn't have done that or you shouldn't have made these mistakes, or not feeling guilty, ashamed, used, abused, but feeling like this was a part of my life for a reason and I'm going to accept it and I'm going to love it. But at this time, I need to move forward and I need to focus on things in the future that I'm creating now, which means I need to focus on now and pulling your energy back from certain situations as well. Page of Scythes and Stakes. You are also, you have dealt with a lot of people that have also put a lot on your shoulders because they wanted to be something. They wanted to do something. They wanted to go somewhere. They wanted to do so many more things with their life and they didn't. And some of you could be blaming that on yourself. It's kind of like a friend of mine that he had a single mother growing up. And everything that she did was for him. At the end of the day, she may have had a very different life if he wasn't there. And he has taken that responsibility onto his shoulders to believe that anything bad that has ever happened in her life was because of him. Any of the nasty things she put up with men, anything like that was all him. And most of the time when he gets into a connection, it ends up being with a single mother. Probably because he's trying to provide for her the ability to be able to do all the things that she wants to do because she has those kids there to take care of, and she needs that help and she needs that love and support and protection and nurturing and caring. And he's forever trying to give that to his mom, who never had it. Or like my little brother, who decided when him and his girlfriend were getting married and stuff, he decided he was going to get a job at the mines so that he could pay for everything and take care of everything, because she had been taking care of children for so long that he wanted to give her the chance to be able to do things for herself and take herself somewhere, to do the things that she wanted to do because she hadn't for so long. But at the same time, my brother hadn't either. My brother, just like myself and just like my older sisters, when he was old enough, he dropped out of school and he helped take care of the family. He didn't get to do those things either. But he was busy providing that for someone else instead of providing some of it for himself. And now him and his wife are actually living in a very similar situation to where I was a couple years ago, because he got really sick and he can't work now. Is she working at the mines to take care of him in the same way? Just wondering. Is she willing to make those same sacrifices for him that he made for her? Is it reciprocated? It doesn't look like it. which is really sad. And honestly, my heart breaks for that. And at the same time, that's what he wanted to do. And was supported in doing it. So, should she be supported in doing what she wants to do? He made that choice. So, at the end of the day, when you make a choice to sacrifice certain things for certain people in your life, you can't really blame it on them when they don't do the same for you. You have to accept the fact that you made the choices to be where you were, to do what you were doing, while at the same time deciding whether or not you want to continue being with somebody who's not going to make the same sacrifices for you as you made for them. Somebody who's making you sick on a regular basis because they're taking all you have but not giving back. Somebody who is a vampire. And actually, he could have been too. Somebody who provides everything you need so that they can get in there and take everything you have, but it looks like they're the ones providing everything you need. Imbalances of power. The moon and the Hierophant. There is toxic on both sides of a situation. When you're in a toxic situation, it's toxic on both sides. That's also why you shouldn't hate yourself for walking away when you feel like you need to walk away, because it's not only good for you, it's good for the other person too. It really is, because you don't want to stay in a toxic situation, and you don't want them to stay in a toxic situation either. Because if it's toxic for you, once again, it's toxic for them. It is toxic for both sides of the party. And once you're learning not to be in that victimhood mentality, it's much easier to accept that. It's much easier to step into the other person's shoes, see it from their perspective, have that empathy and understanding. Instead of feeling like you were the only hurt party in a situation, you know that both parties were hurt. Hierophant. The Hierophant conforms to society and upholds tradition. Whether that be cultural practices, religion, or written law, these ideals are upheld by Julianos, one of the divines in the land of Tamriel. He is a god of literature, law, history, contradiction. Will you follow his ways, or will you strike out on a new path that is completely your own? Julianos is pleased by your adherence to traditions. Convention and societal norms have a strong hold over your life. Reflect on how these traditions may impact your journey, or how they may aid or hinder you. It's time to let go of the ones that need to be let go of. And it's time to carry on the ones you feel need to be carried on. It's kind of like when we decide whether or not we're going to discipline our children the same way our parents disciplined us. Most of the people that had the living shit beat out of them, it damaged them so much there was no way they were ever going to do that to their kids. A lot of them mentally and emotionally abused them instead. And then their kids went, okay, we're not going to do that. Some of them went back to beating kids. The ones whose parents actually told them about their childhood and explained those things to them and gave them that wisdom, they decided, no, we need to find a new way. We need to move forward. We don't need to move backwards. We need to move forward. And that's how forward movement always occurs in the world too. It starts at this point, right? And then we start trying to bring back some of the past, and then we're like, oh yeah, that didn't work either. That's right. So now we need to make a new way. And we make a new way forward. Though Julianos is the god of many things, his rule over contradiction stands out the most. Do you find yourself breaking away from the traditions of life in some way? Know that you too are a child of Julianos. Hold tight to your convictions. We are not all destined to walk the path that society has laid before us. So as much as I talk about contradictions in the Christian religion, yeah, there's contradictions everywhere. There's times that I contradict myself. Everywhere there's contradictions. There's two sides of every story too. Every story that you encounter, there's two sides. Oh, oops. So, the moon. I forgot that I was looking that one up too. Do 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 do. Boy, that one is all the way at the back of that, I think. The devil, the tower, the star, and the moon. Woohoo! So, The moon hangs bright in the dark sky, offering both intuition and illusion. Nocturnal prince of night, darkness and luck. It's much like that mystery, the moon, for her favors come with a price. Will you gain the blessings of the night mistress? Or is the light of the moon merely peril in disguise? Okay, so there is a cost of visiting the void. There is a cost of visiting that darkness. There is a cost of facing those shadows. A lot of that cost is the illusions that come with it. A lot of that cost is the hurt or the pain or the trauma that you experience along the way to learn those lessons. And that's how you become a master. 33. Upright. Nocturnal proves to be a tricky mistress. Your intuition and imagination may lead you forward, but be wary of the deceiving light that can happen. Hidden perils and unknown foes lurk before you. Can you outsmart them before they outsmart you? So, as much as there are people who can imitate the light, there are people who can imitate the dark too. Just saying, there's both. And for different reasons, they may choose to imitate that. Just because something looks like a light does not mean it is. And just because something looks like a dark void does not mean it is. You have to dive deeper. But deeper, you also have the risk of being deceived. You have the risk of being unsure as well and unsteady on your feet, of facing something that could be unknown, facing something you might not be able to handle or deal with, or you think you can't. So sometimes it can be really hard to remove those fears when you're stepping into a new situation. And at this time, you're being asked to be at peace, knowing that this will help you really be able to evolve and understand what messages you're meant to receive. And also, it will help you to be able to sort those things out easier in the future and to be able to see situations more clearly than you have in the past. Nocturnal offers her mastery over luck and darkness. Your intuition will lead you down the right path, and all suffering shall be weathered. You must be prepared to render payment, however. No prince's blessing comes without a price. So, you definitely, that's how it leads you and guides you. Once you are able to face those things, once you're able to go through those things, once you're able to learn from those things, now going into this next situation, you know a lot more than you did last time. And so you know the direction to go more. You know the footsteps to take more. You know the path to walk on more. And at the same time, with every blessing comes a curse, and every curse comes a blessing. That's why it was saying, yes, there is that insight and awareness and that clear sight, but there is also that illusion, that deception, and that darkness. Every fucking person you come across in your life, they are going to be an angel and a demon. Just like you are an angel and a demon. Every person is. Every animal is. Every plant. Everything is an angel and a demon. It has a dark side and a shadow side. It is all in whether or not our demons can dance together. Are they going to dance together, or are they going to beat the living shit out of each other? That's what you got to ask yourself. And as you meet more demons, and as you interact with them more fully, you will get to see which demons your demons get along with, and which lights your lights get along with. Because it's the same thing over there. Our lights don't get along with every light that comes into our life, and our dark doesn't get along with every dark that comes into our life. So that is pretty much what I got for today's messages, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Would absolutely love to hear what you guys thought about it, whether or not it resonated, what you might have going on in your lives that goes with these situations that we've talked about today. And thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for whatever support you send this way. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate each and every one of you and all the gifts that you have to offer to my life, whether it be liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, leaving timestamps, donations, making purchases. All of those things really help me out so much, you guys, and it allows me to be able to provide for myself and support myself as I'm here to support you guys on all your paths. I've been finding 200,000 heart rocks since somebody particular came into my life. My dad's like, Heart, 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 heart. Because him and my stepmom used to collect heart rocks. I love my little heart rock. This one's really beautiful because I've never actually found a heart rock that was like that, quite like that. So, anyway, thank you guys for doing anything that you do to support me and my work. It really does help me out so much. And it's a great way to give back for the healing sessions that I bring you guys. I put a lot of energy, time, effort, and a lot of my life's long passion to learn, grow, and heal into this channel. And I am so happy that it can impact all of your lives and help you to move through your lessons and your journey much swifter and easier. Kind of like our ancestors and the knowledge and wisdom they passed to us does. So make sure you guys are taking action in your lives to be able to do things in your lives that you feel like are leaving a purpose and amazing potential behind as well. Thank you as well to our ancestors and guides, all the way back to our very first ancestors, our divine mother and divine father who birthed us into creation. Thank you for the messages that you send us, the messages we receive, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of those messages, the signs and the synchronicities you leave behind for us. And thank you for the gifts that we possess because of you, and the blessings in our lives every day because you fought for them. And may we have the strength and courage to fight in our own lives the same way that you fought, as a strong warrior who isn't afraid and doesn't turn away from the battle. Thank you guys again, and I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye-bye, guys.